Salim Tourabali is on the alert, ready to spring into action in an emergency. With tens of thousands of football fans attending Euro 2016 matches to cheer on their national teams, France is on high alert. Tourabali is one of hundreds of security guards at the Stade de France.
I try to recognize in advance which people might pose a threat. I pass on the information using this microphone and headphone. It's then relayed to stadium security.
Still, hooligans have managed to smuggle fireworks into the stadiums, and there have been severe clashes both before and after the matches. It's just not possible for Tourabali and his colleagues to have everything under control.
I was worried earlier. A bus full of Germans arrived and they were actually drinking beer at 7 in the morning.
He says he and his colleagues have to react immediately to keep situations from escalating, and he knows what he's talking about. His attentiveness prevented a massacre. He drives around the Stade de France with us to entrance L, where he was posted on November the 13th of last year for the match between France and Germany. A young man tried to get into the stadium through this gate without a ticket.
His behavior attracted my attention. He was different from other spectators. He had a goal. He was in a hurry. He said, "I must get in." The person who has my ticket is inside.
Tourabali instinctively blocked the man's way and made sure his colleagues didn't let him through either. What he couldn't know was that the man belonged to a suicide commando. Just moments later, a bomb exploded in front of the stadium, killing a passerby.
There was blood everywhere and I didn't have any gloves. I still see the strips of flesh on the legs of the injured person. Each time there's an attack somewhere, I see all the panic and sadness.
At first, Tourabali didn't want to work during football games again. But now the security guard, himself a football fan, is back at the stadium. And Germany is playing again, this time against Poland. Many of the fans who've come to Paris despite the terrorism threat have pushed aside any fears and are blindly trusting the security personnel.
They started early with the security check, so it's all fine. I'm not scared. They've got everything under control.
Police have cordoned off areas around stadiums and fan zones, but it's mainly private companies that carry out the controls at the stadium entrances. Their staff usually protect buildings against break-ins, and experts say they have no training for mass sporting events. For cost reasons, the companies often hire immigrants and allegedly do not conduct proper background checks.
A problem that's relatively new is the radicalization of private security staff who turn to Islamic extremism and are obviously in very sensitive positions. We estimate there are dozens, and I would say several hundred security officers who are radical Islamists.
Can they be fired?
It's legally very complicated.
Tourabali is critical of the sector's employment practices. He thinks staff assigned to major public events should be very carefully vetted.
If I work in security, then I have to be a role model. I can't instruct other people on how to behave if I'm creating a much bigger problem in my private life.
If it were up to Tourabali, all security personnel would have emergency services training. During the attack in November, the 43-year-old was one of the few people present who knew what to do since he's had first aid training. Now Salim Tourabali has been honoured for his efforts at the highest level.
Look at this photo. I'm with President Hollande. He said I was an example for the whole profession.
Tourabali's wife, Bibi, is proud that her husband has become a role model in France. But now during Euro 2016, she's very aware of the danger he puts himself in each day.
It does make me afraid.
It seems others are afraid too. Fewer people are visiting the fan zones than in past European Championships. The euphoria is rather subdued, and Salim Tourabali will continue to be on the lookout for potential danger.